Hey gang, welcome back to Let's Level Up. My name is Rick and I'm really excited to talk about this awesome Kickstarter project that is currently live, at least for the next 10 days or so. So if you're watching this on that 11th day, hit up the Kickstarter page anyways, because I'm sure they're going to have a link where you can look at getting it after the launch of the Kickstarter. I'm talking about Overworld Games' new expansion to Good Cop, Bad Cop, Undercover. This little game packs a wallop, and I can't say that or stress that enough. And here's a warning, I'm going to gush on this thing because I really love Good Cop, Bad Cop, and I think all of the things that they've introduced in this Undercover expansion enhance the game. Sometimes you get one of your favorite games out there and they produce an expansion for it, and it doesn't really do anything. And you just rather play the base game. Undercover is going to definitely add to Bombers and Traders for me, because that cover ability that we get with this is huge. As you may have guessed it, this allows us to get a unique cover on our card, which will actually lay on top of one of our integrity cards, preventing it from being investigated. Once we're investigated, we're going to move our cover to the card that was investigated, preventing another player. And if for whatever reason the card that we have our cover on gets turned face up, we'll need to move our cover to another card. Once that we're out of cards for it to basically cover, we actually lose our cover. And we are able to use our actions up until that point, which is really big. There are a ton of new and awesome and exciting equipment cards in this expansion. But you know what? Let's go ahead and hit the table. And Good Cop, Bad Cop is back with another expansion called Undercover. We get more equipment in this game and a really cool new mechanic, which is your undercover alias, which will allow us to do certain things like protect our integrity cards and then give us a passive or sometimes an active ability that we'll be able to use throughout the game. So let's go ahead and pop this open and set it up for the minimum number of players, 4. And look at that. It's like magic. I just snapped my fingers and the game was instantly set up. How cool is that? Okay, so I'm not going to get too much in how to play the rules. I covered the rules pretty in depth in our last Good Cop, Bad Cop video, which was for the expansion Bombers and Traders, which, by the way, completely compatible with Undercover. And I believe some of the Kickstarter rewards they have will combine the base game, Bombers and Traders, and Undercover all together in one big deluxe package, which is really awesome. I will also say I may gush a little bit on this because Good Cop, Bad Cop is one of my favorite social deduction games. In fact, it probably is my favorite social deduction game. It is really good. It's very quick. It's very good as the players scale down, which is, I think, at some of the other deduction games it's lacking. So again, we're set up for 4 players right now, and just like the original Good Cop, Bad Cop, your identity is going to be determined on whether or not you either have the agent or the kingpin, which is the leader for the good guys and the bad guys respectively, or if you have a color that dominates your suit here. So I have 1 honest and 2 crooked, so I'm actually working with the kingpin. So I need to find the kingpin and protect him, or really find the agent and take the agent out. So I'm going to flip my cards over. Whoever is going to act first will get this lead investigator card, which gives you all of the actions that you can take during your turn. And if you want, go ahead and pause that so you can look over the actions. But we have investigate, equip, cover, arm, and shoot. And then we also have the take aim. You notice that the cover ability is unique. And this says use the ability on your cover is what that allows us to do. So essentially, if we want to shoot somebody, we have to first arm ourselves and grab one of the guns here on the table. The last thing that we do is, if we have a gun on our turn, we have to aim it at somebody. So it's going to build a lot of suspense in the next round. You get a lot of really awesome Mexican standoffs with Good Cop, Bad Cop. Okay, so we're going to put this down and say I'm the lead investigator, and then we're going to go look at some of the covers here and show you some of the abilities that you're going to be able to do and use. So first of which we have the Smuggler. It says choose a player. That player picks up all of their integrity cards and places them face down in any arrangement. That's a really huge ability. Loan Shark. Give a player your equipment card and you draw an equipment card. Informer. Take the investigate action, then choose any other player other than yourself to also take an investigate action. Huge. 2 investigates in 1 turn is big. Bodyguard. Choose a player holding a gun and aiming at a player other than you. They must aim their gun at a new target. So this allows you to kind of take a bullet for somebody, basically is what that is allowing us to do. or give somebody the opportunity to shoot somebody else. Investigate any player. If that player is holding an equipment card, you may also view their equipment card. So Spy allows you just to get a little bit more information. The Mole. Exchange one of your integrity cards for a face-up, honest, or crooked card held by another player. Mole will actually allow you to change your faction mid-game if you play it right. Interrogator. Target flips up an integrity card face-up. That's huge. Infiltrator. Investigate any player. You may choose to view a covered integrity card. After investigating it, you may choose to move that player's cover to another one of their face-down integrity cards. So what that's saying is in the game, we're going to put our cover face up on one of these cards here. So it's going to be protecting that card. Most players aren't going to be able to choose that card in order to investigate on their turn. Next up, we have Arms Dealer. Choose another player. They pick up a gun if one is available without turning an integrity card face up. That's pretty big. Normally, whenever you're taking a gun, you have to show a little bit of your information here. So the more you do and the longer the game goes on, it's going to be inevitable at some point where people just know who you are. So anything that allows us to do something without revealing that information is big. Sniper. Sniper says investigate any player and take arm action. You must aim the gun that you pick up at the player you investigated. Wow. Sniper is big. Looter. Take the equip action, but draw one extra equipment card. While you have the cover, your equipment hand limit is increased to 2. So this will actually let us get more equipment. That's the looter card. And then we have Identity Thief. It says choose a player. That player chooses one of their integrity cards and turns it face up. If it was face down, you then choose one of your integrity cards to exchange for the one they chose. So Identity Thief is, again, going to allow you to potentially switch your role in the middle of the game. We also have the Hustler. Trade your equipment card for any other player's equipment card. Then you may take the equip action. That's awesome. And then Transporter. I think Transporter is the last one because then we're back to Smuggler. So the Transporter allows us to take any action before or after you take that action. Move any player's cover to any of their integrity cards. Oh, wow. That's any of their integrity cards. It doesn't just say face down. So I wonder if you could potentially play this face up on somebody's. I mean, to get with Brian on that as far as a rules explanation. But I think when I'm reading that, I believe that's the case. So what we have here, again, each player is going to randomly get a cover. And the cover is going to be face up. We know who our cover is. We know what our role is. So I'm the Arms Dealer. We have the Infiltrator. We have the Interrogator. And we have the Mole. And let's say they're going to choose which side they're going to want to protect. Now, as the game goes on, and we have things that are going to be revealed throughout the game, we're going to have to move our cover according to the rules of the game. So it's one thing we're always going to be mindful of. This is going to be shifting around. And there may be equipment that allows us to, or rather, that forces us to do that as well. So what I did is I put my card on one of my crickets. So I'm protecting that one. So whenever they investigate me, their only options are either going to be to get an honest or a crooked, not both. So that's going to allow us to basically, hopefully, maintain our anonymity just a little bit longer in the game. There is a ton of new equipment cards here in Undercover, which are going to be really cool. I want to showcase just a couple of those. First of which is going to be Disguise. Disguise, you can tell the new cards because they have the Undercover logo here. It says place this card in front of any player other than yourself. That player may not be investigated. We also have the Ambulance. The Ambulance says use when a player is eliminated. They are not eliminated. You may steal any equipment from them in their hand. So if somebody gets shot, you can play the Ambulance card, keep them in the game, and take their equipment. You also have Scope. And you notice that some of the artwork here is not quite done. Again, this is a prototype, guys, so please keep that in mind. We have the Scope. It says investigating all players being targeted by a gun, which is another huge thing. So it's potentially 2 investigations in one turn. New Assignment. It says choose 2 players. They exchange covers. The same integrity card for each player remains covered. Both players must still have a cover to use this. So, again, there are a ton of new equipment cards here in this game. There are a ton of really cool, awesome covers that are going to greatly enhance, I feel, your current good cop, bad cop experience. This is a really, really high stakes game. Builds a sense of suspense a lot better than I think a lot of the social deduction games do now. So again, that's a quick idea of what's new in Undercover. There's still a lot here, but I want to keep this video a little bit shorter, so that way you guys can go watch the awesome videos and really head over to the Kickstarter page and think about contributing. You've got about 10 days left from the time I'm recording this, so you're going to want to really make sure to get on it as quick as possible, because it's awesome. So follow me back to the game room. I'm going to gush on it just a little bit more. Well, that is it for Good Cop, Bad Cop Undercover. I think Brian and the guys at Overworld Games have another awesome game. You can get this game for $15 shipping anywhere in the world, which is huge. Definitely check it out, because I think it's very awesome. It's going to make a great addition if you already have Good Cop, Bad Cop. If you don't have Good Cop, Bad Cop, there are plenty of reward levels for you to pick from that will allow you to basically get everything in the setup with awesome deluxe editions and all of that. So plenty for anything. If you're a fan of social deduction games, this is a must-have. If you don't already have Good Cop, Bad Cop, check out our review for Bombers and Traders and get that while you can, because it is awesome. Good Cop, Bad Cop is one of my favorite games, and I think this expansion does a lot of really cool things. Just adding the identities brings a whole new level of gameplay. Let's exclude the ton of new equipment cards for a second. Just the cover concept of being able to protect cards that we have out on the table is huge. Not only that, we get a unique ability from each of those. It's even bigger. And there's so much here that we can play and add to our current experience, which is already an amazing one at that. Undercover is going to pair very nicely with Bombers and Traders if you already have that expansion, which I really, really enjoy. So now I have to choose between which cards to include and which not to include. This game is going to just fit perfectly within the universe of Good Cop, Bad Cop. I really, really love it, and definitely suggest you look at the campaign. There's going to be a link in the description of this video. Click it, go to the campaign, check out the different reward levels, and see which one fits your wallet the best. Again, you can get this game for $15, free shipping with that, all over the world. Huge, huge value. Overworld Games, awesome company to support, and this is really, really big. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video, the guys at Overworld Games and Brian for allowing me the opportunity to look at this game ahead of time. I really love it, guys. Again, please give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. But most importantly, again, game on.